Well, I think the greatest impact that we've had at discovering my purpose is we've helped students navigate through some really challenging times. Because what we've consistently seen is that purposeful students, their anxiety levels drop precipitously. What we've tracked is anxiety typically drops around 30%. And we use something called the Generalized Anxiety Disorder 7, GAD-7 is the questionnaire we use. So, and these children are beyond the pale anxious. And this was, a lot of the stats that I pull from are pre-COVID. And anxiety has only gone up since COVID happened. So to me, that feels, and an anxious brain is not a brain ready to learn. So when we give students a path, even if they come through these questions, not exactly knowing what their purpose is, but you've said to them, I invite you to start thinking about it. It's like a treasure hunt. And maybe you won't know right away what your purpose is, but you got one. And, again, let's look into what you're good at. Let's look at what you love to do. And let's look at the way that the world, what the world needs. And we'll keep exploring together so that you're inviting them to consider that they have a purpose. Because the reality is most of these children have never been encouraged to think about their purpose before because they've been in such a survival mode. So that's honestly that transformation of just inviting the students to start considering, their future in a more hopeful manner. It again boosts their optimism, helps boost their agency, and help the strength spot see them so that you can give them a better sense of, yeah, you can do this. You've got this. You've got this. Again, that boosts their belief in themselves. And that's going to result in a different learner. It's going to result in a student who isn't passive. It's going to result in a student who is engaged in the classroom. And I think that's the greatest gift, for the teacher, for the class as a whole, and for the student as an individual.
Yeah, and we wonder why kids out there today are not engaged, and that
Mhm.
the dropout rate is so high, and
Mhm.
and much of this could be because they don't see their purpose. They
Mhm.
have one that's there, but they don't necessarily um, they're not aware of it, and they're not
Yeah, they're not
self-aware of
connected,
it.
and
Yeah,
learning doesn't feel relevant.
right.
Learning doesn't feel relevant, and that's where purpose is the most powerful,
Yeah,
because all of a sudden learning becomes relevant because you can connect the dots. Oh, you want to be a nurse? Well, then let's make sure that that you dig into biology. Let's make sure that you at least have some basic math skills, so that all of a sudden they see, I need this in order
yeah,
to get there.
yeah.
And that shift, again, it's a sea change. I mean, it's transformational. I have seen it. I have seen it happen. It's incredibly powerful. And it makes us feel better as educators, to have students who want to be in the classroom, right?